Hey there! Today we're going to discuss the pinyon juniper woodlands found on the south rim of the Grand Canyon. This is a unique forest type that finds a way to thrive in an otherwise harsh environment. We will take a look at the common vegetation found here, some of the animals that live here, as well as some history about the Native Americans who lived here and how they interacted with the environment. The pinyon pine, whose Latin name means edible pine, can live for up to 800 years and reach 45 feet in height and 3 feet in diameter. The pinyon pine is monoecious. This means that each tree contains both the pollen-bearing and seed-bearing structures. Pinyon pine nuts take 3 seasons to mature, and it is common for several years to pass before the next growing cycle begins. The one-seed juniper typically grows to 10 feet in height, and it can be identified by the thin curved branches originating from the base of the tree. The one-seed juniper is dioecious. This means that the male and female flowers are found on separate trees. The male trees have a red flower, and the females have a blue cone-like structure. The Utah juniper is a low-growing tree that has a distinctive irregular shape. The Utah juniper is monoecious, and the seeds take 2 seasons to mature. The berries are blue and very abundant, and they are a popular food choice for many animals that live here. The alligator juniper has a unique characteristic. It is typically dioecious, but occasionally it can be monoecious as well. The alligator juniper can be identified by the distinct scale-like pattern of its bark, which resembles the skin of an alligator. The Rocky Mountain juniper has a distinct, tall and narrow shape. It has branches that often curve upwards, and it is typically found at higher elevations in the pinyon juniper woodlands. The Rocky Mountain juniper is dioecious, and it produces small blue berries. The south rim has a dry climate and typically gets around 15 inches of rain each year, as well as some snowfall. Mature pinyon and juniper trees have extensive root systems that are very good at extracting water from the soil. The result of this is a sparse understory vegetation. You can occasionally find sagebrush or some seasonal grasses within this forest type, but it is primarily dominated by the trees. This forest type is not just unique to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. In fact, the pinyon juniper woodland is the most common forest type in the American Southwest. It covers more than 100 million acres, starting in the south in Arizona and New Mexico, and it reaches as far north as Wyoming, Idaho, and Oregon. Moving along, the pinyon juniper woodlands are home to many animals. First, we'll take a look at some of the large game animals. The Rocky Mountain elk are not native to northern Arizona. They were brought here between 1913 and 1928 from Yellowstone National Park. They are not adapted to the drier climate here, so they are partially dependent on human sources of water. Because of this, some of the elk have lost their natural fear of humans. And keep in mind that a bull elk can weigh up to 700 pounds, so they must be treated like wild animals. The mule deer is well adapted to the environment. They have distinctive large ears, which help radiate heat away from their bodies. They are a versatile animal that can also be found in the canyon all the way down to the Colorado River. Mule deer are herbivores, and they will eat pinyon nuts, juniper berries, grasses, and shrubs. They are much smaller than their elk counterparts. A mature buck can weigh up to 200 pounds. The bighorn sheep is the largest native animal in the park. Mature rams can reach 300 pounds. They can be identified by their large curved horns. Their preferred habitat is near cliffs and steep terrain along the rim. Bighorn sheep are highly adapted to the dry climate, and they can go long periods of time without water. Herds can be as large as 100 sheep, and rams are known for charging head-on at each other to determine the dominant male. Mountain lions are the largest carnivore found in the park. They have strong forequarters and necks and long legs for sprinting and jumping. A mountain lion's home range can be 150 square miles, meaning they spend time inside the park as well as in the surrounding Forest Service lands. Mountain lions are ambush predators that feed mostly on mule deer and elk. They will stalk their prey and kill or immobilize them with a bite to the back of the neck. They are a nocturnal animal and have great night vision. Female mountain lions raise their cubs on their own, which are born with spots and blue eyes. Mountain lions are typically not a threat to humans here, but they should be respected as a potentially dangerous animal. Let's take a look at some of the tribes that have called this place home. The Havasupai people have lived here for 800 years. They would spend the summer months tending to their crops in Havasu Canyon, and during the winter months they would make their way up to the rim to hunt and gather food. In 1882, the U.S. government created their reservation consisting of 518 acres in the canyon bottom. This was especially problematic because they relied on their seasonal migration to the rim to find food. Eventually, in 1975, Congress gave 185,000 acres back to the tribe. The Hualapai, known as the people of the Tall Pines, were a tribe of hunter-gatherers who roamed more than 5 million acres from the Black Mountains in the west, along the Grand Canyon, and all the way to the San Francisco Peaks in the east. Their reservation, which was established in 1883, now covers 1 million acres, including more than 100 miles along the Colorado River and Grand Canyon. Their land had remained primarily untouched until recent development of tourist destinations during the last decade. The Navajo are the largest Native American tribe, consisting of 250,000 members. Their reservation covers 27,000 square miles from the east end of the Grand Canyon and into Utah and New Mexico. They were hunter-gatherers as well as farmers and sheep herders, and today they are known for the silver and turquoise jewelry that they make. The Hopi are one of the oldest cultures that has been documented. They roamed the Four Corners area for 2,000 years. Their reservation now covers over 1.5 million acres, and they were known for successfully growing crops in the harsh desert environment. Now let's discuss how these people interacted with the pinyon juniper woodlands. Wood was used to build structures and to fuel fires for warmth and for cooking food. Pinyon nuts and juniper berries were harvested as an important food source. Deer and elk were hunted for their meat, and their hides were used as a clothing material. In closing, this is a unique forest type that thrives in a sometimes harsh environment. We talked about the vegetation, some of the animals found here, and the Native Americans who lived here and survived with the resources provided by the forest. Lastly, let us not forget that this is a forest type that is constantly at risk. Drought, mistletoe, and insects can all cause high rates of tree mortality. So please get out there and enjoy what the South Rim has to offer. Thank you.